morning, everybody. Well, it's a balmy 20-something degrees up here in Oklahoma, in the River Valley area. So Texas boys still trying to get used to this Oklahoma cold weather. But I know a lot of you people up north are probably laughing at me. But anyway, all is good. So we are back on our 68 Barracuda today, and we're going to resume putting together this heavy-duty K-frame coilover suspension conversion. So we've got the lower control arms on. I think a lot of this I'm going to simulate, not necessarily have it in there permanently. That's kind of how Denny suggested it. I know I kind of got the cart before the horse, but I just had to get this engine in here. I wanted to see how it was going to look. But nevertheless, we need to continue getting our upper control arms on, the supports, and these are our ride height simulators. And Denny explained to me, now I get it. Again, before he orders my coil and spring package, he wants to know what ride height I want. And as you can see, this thing's adjustable. So we got to actually put the Wilwood hubs on, and maybe not the calipers, but we've got to get this thing to where we can get the front wheels on it, get these simulators where we want that front ride height, and then we can order a coil package, our spring and coil package. You guys out there, y'all let me know when we get to this part, how do you like the ride height? We'll play with some of these things a little bit, show you guys what we've got. I'm not a lower stance type guy, you know, I'm not into the airbag stuff and on the ground. It's just not me. I kind of really like close to stock ride heights on some of these old cars, but you guys tell me what you like. And so got a lot going on, got to continue getting things going. I noticed the steering column is going to be pretty interesting. Not sure how that's going to work, but Denny assured me once we modify our steering column with our new pieces that it should not be a problem. So I believe him. He's done quite a few of these. And so, anywho, let's go ahead and get started. Let's continue on these coilover suspension. All right, don't laugh at me. I'm just putting things in here loose, not tightening a darn thing. This is my first rodeo, but these, I don't know what, I guess they're some kind of adapters. I don't know what you call them, but one says left and one says right. I'm gonna assume right being passenger side. You see you've got a little, looks like a locator in here that goes basically where the shock went on the factory setup. So before I start tightening it, I'm just gonna work on this one side, and everything is loose. If you come up here at the top, you'll see that I've just got the little silver bushings in there. I think that's what you'd call a locator or an adapter, and then got the nut on this side. So let's keep moving on, and I think we're going to put the upper control arm support on, is what I would call it. Let's check that out. All right, already I think I got something on backwards. You see the two holes right there, right here. I'm going to make the assumption that they go the other way, because I believe this is our upper support. It's going to go here, and then it has some bolts. I don't have any illustrated instructions, so I'm having to kind of figure this out on my own, but I got a feeling they're going to go here, and then I'm not sure what will go here because it'll be on the other side. So let's again, I'm just trying to figure this out on my own, but let's take this in and turn it upside down. Okay, again, just mocking it up and making a lot of assumptions here. So on this, I guess, adapter or support, whatever you want to call it, I've taken a picture and I'm going to send it to Denny, but I'm assuming you drill a hole maybe in the body and then the bolt comes in from the other side, and then this helps support. I'm gonna guess that's probably what happens. But I'm not drilling anything until Denny tells me. And then I'm about to bolt this up here. I'm gonna make the assumption that it gets bolts that go through the frame rail, probably. Maybe, I don't know. I'm wondering if I'm gonna have to pull the Hemi, pull this whole K-frame back out and remove the Hemi from this. I'm not sure. I may have to do that, but let's just let's get this thing mocked up, and I'll probably go ahead and remove this as well so I can get to those bolts. I'm assuming this is where the shock will go. Alright, I've got this hanging loosely. I guess once you tighten this, again, I'll take a picture and send this to Denny. But I'm going to look and see. I'm assuming this is all for support, so let me see what other hardware I've got. Alright, I just took another picture and I'll send it to Denny. But I have these bolts with a sleeve. They're long enough to go through. Yeah, they're plenty long enough to go through the frame. But what, I don't know where. I don't know if these sleeves. Why would I use these sleeves? Do I drill a hole big enough for the sleeve? I wouldn't think you would. I've got to figure this out. So I'm gonna take a picture of this along with that location and ask Denny if that's where I drill those holes. Okay, I think we're kind of figuring some of this out. Pretty obvious, but that bolt it lines up perfect with this already, this hole cut from the factory. So we're gonna go ahead and drill it. I'm gonna use this as a guide to get the hole started, and then once I've got this, I'm gonna tap this in. It's perfect. Then I've already got the right size drill bit to use that as a guide. Then we'll drill through that hole. We'll tap this in, and it looks like it's pretty obvious. Oh, yep, there it goes. Okay, yeah. Okay. We'll make sure it don't hit the engine. All right, now we've drilled our hole. We got our little spacer in. We set our control arm in. So now we're gonna try to draw this thing in from the side. If we can get our hands down in there, we'll see if we can get this thing bolted up. There. That better? All right. We got our hole drilled here, and we put the little spacer, the bushings, basically a locator. Got it in. These are tight. What we learned is we pulled this back out and tightened this up right here, then set it back in, and our hole's all nice and centered. It's good. So what I'm thinking is, you guys and gals tell me, but I'll ask Denny. But what I'm thinking is, once this is all tightened up, then most likely you center these holes to drill. I'm thinking that this is a support that goes in between the frame rail, maybe, because it is the exact length. So I would mark my holes here, then pull this back off, and these will go in through the frame, and then this most likely goes like so. Got a pretty good feeling that's how it goes, and it provides that upper support. But I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to go ahead and tighten these up, and I'm going to ask Denny if that's how it goes. Something else, a lot of this stuff's going to have to come back off. We're probably going to go in and paint some of this stuff, like you mentioned. Maybe I can sand some of this down and just go over it with a brush from KBS, a satin or something, because I don't want it to rust and look like crap, and I want the mechanical integrity. But right now I'm doing basically what everybody suggests to do to mock it up. I've got to get my cam adjuster bolts here on both sides, I gave that away with the front suspension that I sold just a couple weeks ago. But yeah, this probably, and I'm pretty sure I got a cut right here for the control arm. But slow as she goes. You guys tell me what you think as we do this. So we're about to tighten this bolt and this bolt up here and move forward. Plenty good. All right. I've got to get new cam bolts. I didn't know I was going to have them with new suspension, but I went in and made an ugly cut. On the other side, I'll cut this before I put this in, but I've got clearance. Just going to set these in here temporarily. Obviously, these don't have the flat on them, so they're not going to go all the way through, but they'll get us to where we need to be, just trying to mock stuff up temporarily. Let's put the... All right, back for a lunch break, and now I'm going to go ahead and install a spindle. It's pretty obvious this is the passenger side. It did say in the instructions cut up to, if it's an A body, that we would have to cut up to perhaps 7/8 of an inch of this thread. I ain't cutting anything yet. We're gonna go ahead and get this on, and I really don't know if that has any bearing really on our ride height, so I'm gonna hold off on that. But let's get this spindle on. Get here. Besides these right here, which I've already ordered, I think we can go ahead and probably start messing with the... Let's get into that. All right, here's our Wilwood brake system. Looks like these are adapters. They're behind solid wheels, so I didn't get anything fancy. The hardware. These are probably our pads. Definitely gonna. So I took out basically everything to just do one side. We got it. Wilwood gave us a great graphic. This is usually how, when I build stuff, this is nice when you have a blown up schematic. Got our hardware here and our hub right here. So let's get started in putting this side together and getting it ready. I'm assuming we've got studs for our lug nuts, but let's just get into all this, and we're going to slowly take our time and do what they're showing here on the schematic right here. If anybody's interested, you want to know what kit this is, let me show you again. This is kit part number 140-11017. It's in here. Races in on both sides. They made it easy on us. In fact, we've got everything. So we're 5. Looks like it's 230 studs. Gotta figure out where those are at. All right. We gotta know which ones they screw into, though. That's for your bolt. See, that's in there. Is that it right there? I'm using anti-seize on these. You figure these extra hard studs, and this is an aluminum hub, so it didn't say to use Loctite. I'm sure we got to use Loctite on these other ones, these torque headed button screws. I'm sure they use Loctite, and these are supposed to be torqued to 77 foot-pounds. We will be torquing them. Right now we're just mocking everything up, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is critical. This is what you're rolling on, man. So you got to make sure not to forget to torque stuff. All I want to do is mock it up, though, right now. A lot of this stuff is most likely going to be coming back out of the car. All right, so I've packed my bearings. Again, all these torque screws you see in here, they're just in there temporarily because we're mocking it up. And again, all this stuff's going to come back apart so we can torque it, Loctite it, so forth. Now, I believe we can get this on. Alright. Oh yeah. Now we'll put our new smaller outer bearing in. There it is. Now, another thing, you guys are doing this, they do not supply the spindle nuts. Again, I gave the spindle nut away with the other front end. So, I should have marked where that slot is. Where's that tooth? There it is. So, I'm missing a spindle nut. If I had my spindle nut, I could put this on, put the wheel on it, and then do the simulate. Well, of course, I need the cam bolts really to do it properly. So, to be honest with you, this is probably as far as we're going to be able to go today until I can get a spindle nut on this thing. Maybe tighten some of this stuff up just a little bit. But let me show you the simulators. So Denny may want me to go ahead and drill these holes, but I'm not drilling these holes yet until Denny tells me it looks like you're about right where it needs to go. I clearanced the area for my upper control arm, but these are the simulators. And what's going to happen, you see these big holes right here? Those are going to go in here, and they're going to go in here at the bottom, so it's going to be like this. And these simulators are going to tell me what shock and coil spring package I want. It's going to go just like that. So that I'm beginning to learn on this as we go. I see why Denny said, mock it up first. I probably, because I'm so impatient, I couldn't help myself. I probably should have just put this system on without the engine in it and just mocked it up and then pulled it out to do the things I want to do as far as painting. But again, if I have to do that, I'll do that. I can still drop it out from the bottom. You saw how easy it was to really put it in. So I think that's going to leave us where we're at today. I've got to find that spindle nut for that. And I've got to know where to drill these holes. That may have a lot of bearing on it, I would imagine, for these right here. It looks pretty obvious that that's where these would go, but I don't want to go drill anything yet. But I'd say we made slow but good progress today. You guys are learning with me on one of these systems. I'm sure the QA ones are probably very similar, but Denny's comes with a lot of folks say that this is one right here, one of the best ones. So I'm really excited. Got that on there now. Just waiting for the shocks, but we're getting there, folks. We still got a lot more to go. So if you haven't already, I guess we'll call this part 2 of the HDK installation. So if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, everybody, and hope y'all have a great Sunday.